Hello, welcome to the kitchen, folks. Looks like we're going to be doing a brisket today. So I've been cooking outdoors, barbecuing, grilling, griddling, whatever you want to call it, for over 30 years, and I've cooked all kinds of different meats and other things on the grill and a smoker. And I'm not an expert, but I am an aficionado. You know, I love it. I don't do competitions, but saying that, I've had my nemesis, and my nemesis has been the brisket, right? And cooking a brisket right. I can cook a pork shoulder, you know, so it falls apart. You know, pulled pork, tender, juicy, don't need a thermometer. Boston Bud is what I'm talking about. But this guy has been my nemesis. I've cooked it, you know, years ago, the first few times I tried, and I just couldn't get it right. You know, it'd be too dry, it'd be too firm, you know, too hard to cut. You shouldn't even have to, once you slice it, after that you just bite it and pull it apart, and you wouldn't be able to. So I thought I wouldn't be able to figure out how to cook a brisket. And then a few years ago, I started paying more attention to the folks that do it and how they do it. And I learned two things. One, you need a good cooker to cook it on, right? I do my Boston butts on my old Weber kettle. I can do that. I have to add charcoal every hour, right? Something like this I'm going to be cooking for 12 to 14 hours overnight is really not an option. And I've had some side smokers, you know, with the firebox on the side, but they were always small, cheap ones. So you had to keep adding wood. In stepped the big green egg, which we'll look at in a little bit when I set it up. It's allowed me to do a cook overnight without having to add anything, right? It keeps the heat in that well. So that was one thing that has solved that problem for me. And the next thing I learned was temperature, internal temperature of the meat, right? Usually you cook something 60 something degrees or up to 160 something, 170 something, it's done, right? And you go too much more and it's overdone, right? So with the brisket, the first ones I was cooking them where, yeah, it looks done, I know it's cooked all the way through, let's pull it off, cut it, and it just didn't turn out well. And so I started doing some research, looking at what the experts were doing, and I found you need to cook this bad boy to a high internal temperature compared to other products, because it breaks down the fibers inside and makes it soft. I'm talking about 203 degrees internal temperature. Now there's a lot of folks that say, hey, at 180 to 190 it's good, hey, 190 to 200 it's good, but I've read and I've found for myself about 203 degrees is about the perfect internal temperature for me. Folks will go as far as 210 degrees internal temp. And then it depends on how you handle it afterwards, because you know when you pull a piece of meat off cooker, it continues to cook for a little bit, and then if you wrap it, well, that'll affect it. Okay, so cooker and temperature. Now, wrapping it. So I don't use the Texas crutch. What is the Texas crutch? The Texas crutch is wrapping your brisket partway through the cook. They'll cook it for so many hours, get to excuse me, a certain internal temperature, maybe 140, 160. Then they'll wrap it, double wrap it in heavy tinfoil, put it back on the cooker, and then cook it to whatever that proper internal temperature is. And they can turn out terrific. I've eaten a lot of good brisket and people do that, so nothing against it, but the purist in me says cook your meat on the open fire type deal and don't wrap it in foil. It's the Texas crutch for a reason, right? It's kind of like cheating, but it's all right. Kind of steams it, right? And another thing, I like that nice burnt in type bark you get on this brisket when you don't wrap it. And there's people that wrap them and still get a good crust on them, but there's a lot of people that wrap them and don't, and it comes kind of like you cooked a roast in the oven type deal, right? The ones who know what they're really doing, they can do it and get away with it, but I'm not at that level, and I'm happy with what I have now, you know, with what comes out, and you'll see it. So this is a pork shoulder. It's about, or not pork shoulder, I'm sorry, this is a brisket. It's about 11 pounds, decal off, and I did a little more trimming because there's a lot of fat on this guy, and the fat's important. You want fat, moisture, flavor, all that, but too much fat makes it hard for your spices to get through it and all that, so there's a balance. So I trim a lot of the excess fat up off here, okay? Now, what am I going to spice it with? If you've watched any of my cooking videos, almost all of them I use chupacabra. Now usually it's occasion, but they have their brisket magic. So if you can see that. Can you see that? Ah, there we go. Brisket magic. Okay. I have no association with the folks chupacabra, two gringos, but I love their product. So far I haven't found one I don't like. Just bought their chicken. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to. So I'm going to heavy dose it with that on both sides. Then I'm going to wrap it in cellophane, and then it's going to sit in the fridge until I put it on. And that's going to be probably about 5 hours from now, because it's going to cook overnight. Minimum, I would want at least a couple hours in the fridge with the spice rub on it, because the moisture in the meat is mixing with that spice rub. It's combining, and it's just going to make it adhere better, and it's going to give you a better flavor in the end. So heavy dose, we're going to do that now. Then we'll wrap it, put it in the fridge, and then after that we'll get to when we're putting it on the actual smoker tonight. So nothing secret to it. Pile it on there. Now Audrey hates when I do this on the counter here, because I get this stuff all over the counter. Now I can clean up after myself and she wouldn't notice it, right? Or she prefers I put the tray over the sink, with double sink over here, and it keeps me from, it gets more in the sink, which is cool, except when I'm trying to record it, because then it doesn't show up good on the recorder. The sink is not in a good position to record. Okay, so I'm going to double whammy this, okay? That's what I call the top side. That's the side that's going to be up when we're grilling, or smoking, or cooking, or whatever. Bottom side. Okay. Two gringos, chupacabra. If you want to sponsor me, I'll take a bottle of one of each. I'm kidding. Got no sponsors, right? All right, turn it back over. And then I'm going to dust this side again a little bit. You can see some areas where it didn't adhere as well. And this is going to be the top side, so I really want the spice on this side. As it cooks and renders down, it's going to run around the meat. All right. So, next step, wash the hands, saran wrap, put it in the fridge, clean my mess up, and the next time y'all see me is going to be when I'm prepping the green egg, and we'll go through what we use to cook with in the green egg and how the green egg works. And then after that, we'll load it in the green egg once it's ready. And then this thing's going to cook overnight, and it'll be tomorrow, the 4th of July, when you actually see this thing come off the green egg and we cut it and eat it. So, till I see you again, peace out. Well, there you go. We got it on the green egg. Got the thermometer in it. Got our little controller we can take in the house with us. And probably 12 to 14 hours from now, it's going to be done. So we prepped it. We got the lump coal in there, like I said earlier. We've got the wood chips in there. It's taken about 40 to 45 minutes to get the temperature balanced where we wanted it. We had it about 240. If you can see that, it's dropped down because I opened it and put the meat on, dropped down to about 210. So now I'm going to give it about another half an hour. I'm going to babysit it, get that temperature back up to about 230, 225. And then once it's balanced off at that, it's going on 9 o'clock at night, night before 4th of July. So it's about bedtime. I'll be heading to bed. I'll take that little thing with me, but it won't matter. it's just gonna go. It's gonna cook like this, and then tomorrow morning we'll come back out here and check it again. That's how easy it is. And that's why I like that egg. All right, folks. Until in the morning. Peace out. All right. Well, it's about 7 a.m. So this thing's been going for about 10 hours because it went on about 9 p.m. last night. Internal temp 183 right there. So that's good. We've got about 20 degrees to go. Temperature on the egg this morning is about 230-ish, and it was 235 when we went to bed last night, so we flexed about 5 degrees. That is not a big deal at all, and that is the main reason I like this big green egg. It's still going. You can see the smoke still coming out, and it is done rocking. So like I said, 20 more degrees and we'll call it a day with this bad boy. I figure when you're doing a brisket or any big piece of meat like this, a lot of times it'll get to a certain temperature and then lock up. It'll kind of freeze right there, and then once you break through that, it'll start gaining temperatures. We hit that, I think, around when I first got up this morning, around 175, 178. It kind of just sat there for, I think, 20-30 minutes, not gaining any temperature, and then all of a sudden it started coming up, and it's come up 5 degrees since then. So I think we're in the home stretch now, folks. Next time you see me, we should be taking the thing off or slicing it up, something like that. All right, peace out. All right, well, I apologize for the yard noise, but 4th of July and everybody's trying to finish up their yards, I guess, first thing in the morning. But this bad boy's done. So let's take a peek. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so it went officially just over 13 hours. It's after 10 a.m. now. It's 10:20. We're not going to be eating it right now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it in tinfoil. Not cooking it in tinfoil. We're just maintaining its temp now. So we're going to wrap it in tinfoil, wrap that in a big dish towel, and put it in a cooler so it'll stay warm and moist when we're ready to eat it later. So next time you see me, we should be eating the brisket. All right, peace out. Look at that bad boy. Getting ready to slice her up. Look how juicy she is. She's falling apart on me. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. That was the brisket cook. It was real good. I wanted to get some video of us actually eating the brisket, but got carried away with actually eating the brisket. So I didn't get that. You did see the thumbnail. You seen the brisket sandwich I ate. I'm going to be having some barbecue brisket tacos and egg taco, all kinds of stuff with brisket over the next couple days. So low and slow, a cooker that can handle that. Internal temp anywhere from, I would say, 95 to 100, or 195 to like 202, 203, and you'll be good to go. And get out there and try it. And if you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber already, hit that subscribe button down below. There's a little notification bell. You click that and it'll let you know anytime I upload a new video. And I appreciate it. And if you really like the cooking type videos, there'll be a link up here or over here somewhere to a playlist of my other cooking videos. A lot of them are catch and cook with fish, but there's other stuff too, ribs and some others. So check those out for me. And again, thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you all in the next one. I hope you had a great 4th of July, and peace out.